Well, now it's time to check your money with America's money maven, Vicki Brackens. Vicki Brackens is president of Brackens Financial Solutions Network, LLC, and a registered representative of LPL Financial, member SIPC. Good morning, Vicki Brackens.
Good morning, George.
Always good to
Kilpatrick.
see you.
Absolutely always good to see you, George. So you know what? I'm going to give everybody a heads up right now.
Right now.
This is a different type of conversation
All
we're
right.
about to have.
All right.
I titled this, and most of the time I don't talk about the title, but I titled it Bring on the Revolution.
All right, let's go.
Because I wanted everyone to wake up, because this information is critically important to what's happening in our local communities and what's going to be happening around the world.
It's so funny because you said bring on the revolution, and so before we went on the air, I treated you to an old school favorite, Gil Scott Heron.
That's right.
The revolution will not be televised.
Well, in this case, the revolution was televised.
It was televised,
okay?
and we're going to bring it on.
Exactly. So I'm talking about, first of all, let's go back and get a little history. As you recall, the first industrial revolution used water, took water and changed it to steam so that we could change the manufacturing processes from hand to machine. Then we had the second, what they call the second industrial revolution, and that used electric power to fuel mass production. And then we went to the third industrial revolution where we used electronics to automate everything. Well, now we are entering, in fact, we entered a few years ago, the fourth industrial revolution. And here's what's happened. It's being built by merging or fusing the third with the fourth around artificial intelligence, around nanotechnology, around biotechnology and robotics. I mean, we've got a biotech center on the east
Right
side
here.
that's one of the state-of-the-arts for the entire world. So what this has done is opened up avenues for mass production and intelligence building and all types of things as far as new types of economies. But it has also done something that we may not have realized that we need to be aware of and get on board for immediately. Artificial intelligence is slated to disrupt 4.5 million jobs for African Americans
Oh,
who have a 10% greater likelihood of automation-based job loss than any other workers. Now, this was a report that came out a couple of days ago from McKinsey, as far as their estimates are concerned. So I'm going to read some of the findings from that report. First of all, automation and AI will disrupt, meaning kill or replace, lower-paying work held by African Americans by 2030. That is just around the corner. African American workers are at a 10% higher risk to losing their jobs from automation than the general population. Black men without college degrees are particularly vulnerable to job loss, while black women actually will fare better than the general population as a whole, including whites and Asian Americans. Why is this, George?
why is this? That's what I want to know.
Primarily, it's about the kind of jobs that we have. So jobs
That
that
black
are in,
women have?
No, that black men have.
Okay.
That black men have, particularly in the areas of fast food, service workers, and production work. What AI does, what automation does, is takes the types of jobs that are repetitive and condenses them into actions that robots can take care of.
Right, like for example, in the TV business, they have automatic cameras now. You used to have people there doing that. Now they have automatic.
So it's not okay. All types of jobs are going to be impacted, but because black men represent disproportionately more of the jobs that are around things that are repetitive motion that can be taken care of by robots, there's going to be a higher degree of black males who will lose jobs.
Wow.
Okay. In fact, research estimates are that about 28% of the jobs held by black men without college degrees will get disrupted by 2030. So, interestingly, while black men face greater risk of job disruption and black women will have fewer losses around automation and AI, one thing that black women also have to be aware of is this. We are working in jobs that will not be replaced, but not necessarily at a skill level that will put us at the higher pay grades. So we still also, as far as black women are concerned, have to make sure that in skills like, or jobs like nursing, which is not going to be automated out.
No, and
Okay.
it's in high demand.
And in high demand.
And in
or,
some places there's a shortage.
Right, or home health aides. We need to continue to stay in school, not just get that first degree, but continue to increase our skills, because we are right now at a lower pay scale than is going to be necessary in order to sustain ourselves as far as our economic growth is concerned. So, here's what Vicki's going to say.
Okay.
And I don't want anybody, no, I don't care if you do get upset this week. This is what Vicki's going to say. Stop worrying about bake sales and the football teams, and start demanding that the skills required to compete in your schools are being taught to your children.
Okay. That's straight up.
We cannot afford any longer to miss this train. In fact, this train is already out
So
of the
what
station.
are the skills that we're talking about?
We're talking about the skills around computing, the skills around automation, the skills around AI, all the things that we listed earlier. In fact, let me tell you how significant this is. Yesterday, the governor was in, or what was that, Thursday, excuse me. The governor was in Syracuse announcing something that was extremely important, that JMA Wireless and Bankers Health were building new facilities, but particularly around this issue of automation and AI. JMM Wireless is going to transform the old coin building, which you know is on the
Right
south
on the
side.
south side, right there, yeah.
Okay, that's been empty now for about 8 or 9 years, maybe even a little bit longer.
I didn't even realize
Okay.
it. Go ahead.
And put in a $25 million project to create a campus that's going to create the nation's leading showcase for 5G driven experiences in
Right on the south side.
smart city development. Yes.
South side of Syracuse. Wow.
But you got to get trained.
You have to be able to
You
do it.
have to have the skills. And I know that EEOC is starting to champion, Tim Penix,
EOC.
EOC is championing those classes in order for people to be trained to get those jobs. But you can't put your head in the sand and say, well, why didn't they tell me about this earlier?
I hear
Or
you.
what happened 30 years ago? I know some things have happened 30 years ago, but right now, the opportunities are here. So, you know, I'm going to read something because I looked up JMA. Let me tell you what they do. JMA designs and builds next generation communication systems, delivering the industry's most powerful technologies, enabling 4G, LTE, 5G, CBSR, and LAA on networks worldwide. In fact, they also have JMA XRAN. They're the JMA XRAN leaders in the industry, with only 100% of software based on RAN platforms. Now, you know what?
What?
I don't know what the world that means.
I hear you.
Okay?
But
I pulled it off of their website because I want to make sure that everyone understands the world is changing. I will know this next week.
I know that shit.
Every one of those letters is exactly what that means, and get somebody to explain to me what all of those things are. But Syracuse and the mayor and the county exec and Center State CEO and all of the technology entities and Dr. Johanna Rogers and all those people have really dug deeply into trying to change for the area what we are doing as far as innovation. Their work and the work of many, many others is now starting to take hold and produce fruit. But if we don't go out and open our minds around what has happened or what is about to happen and get involved, then we are going to see the wealth gap continue to expand. The 5G revolution is here. And I hope that everyone will take some time to make sure that they are involved in and get trained for what has already been built here and is going to be built here.
Wow. That's powerful information, and you heard it here first.
Yes. Okay. All right. So I will say to everyone, if you have more questions, reach out to us on Facebook. I don't know why I always say reach out. Well, like us.
Like us.
Like us.
Well,
on
they can ask
Facebook,
questions too.
okay? You can ask questions, okay, by sending an email at info@brackensfsn.com, or follow us there on YouTube and subscribe. And at this point, George, I'll say, our plate is full.
You're going to subscribe to Brackens Financial Solutions Network on YouTube. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you, Vicki.
Thank you.
Vicki Brackens is the president of Brackens Financial Solutions Network, LLC, and a registered representative of LPL Financial, member SIPC. And of course, this segment brought to you by Brackens Financial Solutions Network.